This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition, the first actual edition of the Onside Kick right here on MVP Vids. I say JD, I'm here with JD. How we doing? The Don of MVP. How we doing?
Doing great, dude.
We're finally here, JD. We're recording this on the precipice of the football season. We're here on Wednesday night. Hello, patrons are watching us live. Everyone else is seeing this on Thursday morning. It is, you're waking up out of bed right now. You're like, wiping a sheet from my eye a little bit. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's Football Thursday. Oh, look at that. We have the Chiefs and the Ravens tonight. Should be a great game. Should be an awesome game. We got that tonight, JD, as they are watching this live. We're hours away as you're watching this from football. That is why we're officially here. We're done with the previews. We're done with the talking. We got a great show lined up today. You know us. We love, speculation is what I'm looking at. And we're going to be speculating all day today. Plus, we got some contracts to talk about at the end of the show. Before we get into everything, though, I'm going to keep the housekeeping light. You guys know about everything else, the Discord, the Patreon, all of our links down below in the description. Rumble, check them all out in the description. You can leave a comment, let us know what you're feeling about what we talk about. Hit that like button, that sub button. But here's the big thing I wanted to get into the housekeeping today. This season, instead of a fantasy league, we usually have a fantasy league. Winner wins money from MVP. This year, I wanted more people involved, or the chance for more than just like 10 people to be involved. So this year, we're doing an NFL confidence pool on ESPN. The link is already in our Discord. So it's been out. I'm going to put the link down in the description. Go ahead and join it, because the winner at the end of the year, confidence pool. So each week you're making picks. 16 points is the most. 1 point is the least. You rank all the games. The winner at the end of the year is going to get a $100 Amazon gift card from MVP. So go ahead and join that, especially if you want some free Amazon cash from MVP. And what does everyone love, JD? Free what?
Free cash.
Free money, free cash. As Randy Moss, my favorite player, would say, well, okay, second favorite player. Chris Carter's number one. Randy Moss would say, straight cash, homie. Straight cash, homie. But go ahead, join that down below. JD, what we're talking about today is interesting. It's almost a week old. So Friday is when all of this started getting like spun up, Friday into Saturday. We're talking Micah Parsons. And the reason why we're talking Micah Parsons is the Cowboys kind of find themselves in a little bit of a picky pickle. And the reason that pickle is, coming into the year, they had two guys that they have to pay. One of them they already did, CeeDee Lamb. He got paid. He is now, correct me if I'm wrong, he is now the highest non-quarterback contract, or is it still Jay Jettas?
It's still Jefferson.
Okay, because all the articles that I was seeing is like, oh, he's now the highest non-wide receiver. And then I talked to you, and it's like, oh, no, he's not.
I think it's he total money. Jefferson gets paid more, but I think
is the average?
Yeah.
Okay, so the average is more, but the more total money.
I'm pretty sure.
Is what my boy Jay Jettas.
Yeah, without checking right this second, I believe that's what it is.
Point being, he got paid. Second point is, they still got to pay Dak Prescott if they're going to pay Dak Prescott. However, they also have a guy, and this is the guy we're talking about today, Micah Parsons, who after this year will be entering the final year, his extension year, well, not his option year, I should say, of his contract. Micah Parsons. They got three guys. They paid one. They got to pay the other. This one they'll have to pay next year. And what people are talking about is he makes a huge jump. He's only making $2.9 million this year. He's going to make about $21 million in his last year of his deal. People are talking Micah Parsons trade. The backing behind this is from 105.3 The Fan, which I believe is in Dallas. Doing a quick spot here. Yeah, it's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. they have someone on their shows, Shan Sharif, and this is the quote from Shan, said, "I've heard from way too many people this offseason. I'm talking at least 4 different people have told me that Micah has worn thin there. I don't know how much it is true and how much it actually hurts his reputation. I don't know whether this is the behavior of a typical superstar. I don't know how damaging it is, but all I do know is this. I've heard from way too many people that if Micah Parsons was out of there would be a decent amount of people inside the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco smiling or breathing a sigh of relief." JD, first question I'm just going to ask you is, what's the percentage you would put that Micah Parsons gets traded from the Dallas Cowboys either this season or in the offseason next year?
I would say a 5% chance.
So you think this is, hey, we're just talking nonsense. There's no weight to this. There's no way they're going to trade him.
Yeah, because, I mean, with all due respect to that guy, there was a whole bunch of I don't knows in there. And I'm not saying he's lying about the information he's gotten. I just don't think it's that credible.
Okay.
Because it doesn't make sense. Again, Parsons is no matter if you have issues with a player's personality. I mean, I don't see a world where you can trade a top 3 edge rusher, a young one, albeit there, and for what really? Just because he's not the happiest guy or the friendliest guy. Like, no, I mean, and from everything I've heard, and I'm a nobody, but everything online is that Parsons is a great dude. So that's honestly the first I'm hearing about that. But I mean, yeah, I just don't think it makes sense. I think he's the type of player where you build a team around and not just ship him away for pretty much no reason.
See, I'm a little bit higher than you. I'm going to say about 25% chance he gets traded. I don't think it's going to, if it's during the season, 0% chance. I'm with you on that. He is not getting traded this year. But I'm putting a 25% chance that he gets traded next off season. And the reason why I say that is, to me, I just wanted to use this quote because it was interesting. It came out.
Yeah.
Like you said, everything that you see that I've heard that Micah Parsons is a great guy. There's clips of him. He's got his own podcast or he just talks and people like that. Like, he's a personable guy. Here's the thing though. With me though, it doesn't come down to how great of a guy he is in the locker room. Of course that's important. You want great team lead, especially from a leader of your defense. You want a great leader out there who's going to be a great guy for that team. The thing that I think about though is this team just paid CeeDee Lamb. They have to pay Dak Prescott, and guess what? Quarterbacks do not come cheap. They do not come cheap at all. So basically your options with Dak are pay the man, pay someone else, which guess what? That quarterback is not going to come cheap, or you draft a rookie, which means you're going to have to make a trade anyways to move up in the draft because this Cowboy team is going to be really good in my opinion, and they're not going to be in the field for one of the top quarterbacks in the draft this year. And I look at next year. Next year, their total cap as of right now, they'll have $62.9 million in cap space to use. But you look at their free agents. Dak Prescott is going to be a free agent. He's only making $4. Dak Prescott could take up all of that cap in one contract, and then some. You've got also DeMarcus Lawrence, who's going to need a new contract. You have, they probably don't re-sign Eric Kendricks because he's now the journeyman jumping from team to team, but Brandon Cooks, DeMarcus Lawrence, Eric Kendricks. You got Linval Joseph, who, yet again, kind of older, but you've also got Jordan Lewis, who's a younger cornerback. You have Trey Lance. Are they just going to let him walk after those 5 interceptions? They probably should. Just pay Dak. You've got Zeke. Is Zeke going to be signed long term? You've got a ton of other guys that are like 4, 5, 6, 3, like smaller contracts, but they have guys to pay, especially Dak and DeMarcus Lawrence are probably the biggest two. And let's be honest, Dak's cap hit right now, his previous AAV, his average annual value, was at about $40,000. Yeah, his cap hit right now for this season will be $55 million. So there's a chance with a new contract, Dak could be taking up all of that cap space, or they may need more cap space to get the Dak space, is what I'm calling it.
Yeah, see, now that's the thing, right? Again, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for saying that. Well, maybe not.
You're gonna say they shouldn't
But
re-sign Dak.
yeah, I
knew
mean,
it. I knew it was coming.
yeah, because so I'm looking here now. I know obviously Trey Lance, he has not lived up to anywhere close to the prospect that people thought he was going to be.
Yes.
But you could bring him back. I'm looking at the 2025 free agent quarterbacks.
I was
You
just going
have,
to pull him up.
Yep, Sam Darnold's could be an option.
Sam Darnold depends on how he plays this year, though.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have a comeback
Again,
player of the year type year this year.
All of this is like a we'll see.
Yeah.
But they have options. There's Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones, Jimmy G, and I'm skipping some names, but they could go a cheaper route, even though. I mean, here's the thing. I'm
seeing a bunch of mid there, JD. Right now, I'm seeing a bunch of mid.
Well, I agree. I'm not saying any of these guys are great, but then you look in 2026. And do you see it? Are you looking at the 2026 free agent?
Yeah, he's going to be a Minnesota Viking.
I don't know.
JD, come on. He's completing the trifecta. And it's all, if it wasn't for the injury, he would have been with the Vikings this year. The same timeline that Brett Favre had. You spend a season in New York, you play actually one season, then you come over, you play 2 years for the Vikings, and you call it quits. That's what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, because I know that's who you're looking at.
Yeah, that's exactly who
Aaron Rodgers is going to be 41 this year, and then the time he hits free agency, he'll be going into 42?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because this is gonna be what I'm gonna say about this. So,
is he Tom Brady? Is he gonna be able to play till he's 50?
I don't think so.
He's coming off of an Achilles, dude, at 40.
I'm aware, but hear me out. So I used to be on the side of Jerry Jones. Oh, he just wants to win. He just wants to win. Yeah, I'm off that train.
He doesn't.
I think no, he just wants to sell jerseys and make money. So. Well, first of all, Aaron Rodgers will sell jerseys and give false hope even at 42 years old. So there's an option there. But now, from my point of view of with like knowing that Jerry Jones doesn't care about winning, okay, well, you downgrade for a cheaper quarterback who can keep you maybe above 500. You bring back Parsons because again, even though quarterback is the most important position, I think by far and away Micah Parsons is your best player. And if you have to choose one over the other, I'm choosing Parsons over Dak. Because I don't think Dak's that great to begin with. I think you could definitely improve on that.
I've learned something, JD, at my new job, and I think it's going to translate over into the podcast. Do I have to just become the Dak defender now? There are so many people that want to rag on Dak Prescott. Oh, Dak Prescott's not that good. Look at how many playoff games he's won.
No, I don't think
the team. He doesn't have the team. He's got Mike McCarthy out there who's not even a good head coach.
No, I agree. But at the same time, you look at how he played. Like, was it last year? The game where he didn't know what a 2-minute warning was? Freaking, dude, like, that's the thing. Like, I think Dak is above average. I would say maybe, I mean, it's not saying much. I'd say maybe top 15 quarterback. But on that back half of the top 15. But
We're
yeah,
gonna
I mean,
we're gonna play a quick game here. I'm gonna cut you off. We're gonna play a quick game.
yeah,
I'm gonna give you names. You tell me who you'd rather have, Dak Prescott or this player. You ready?
yeah,
Dak or Geno?
Geno,
Dak or Brock Purdy?
Dak,
Dak or Matthew Stafford?
probably Dak.
Kyler Murray?
That's a tough one for me,
That's an
honestly.
easy one. It's an easy
No,
one.
because I
It's
think
an easy
Kyler
one.
could have a comeback year this year.
Just make the pick.
Give me Kyler.
Justin Airbear.
Herbert.
Garner Minshew.
Dak.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah, obviously. Bo Nix.
Oh, dude, he's a rookie.
He's the starter.
Okay, Bo Nix. He's cheaper.
Oh. Baker Mayfield.
Dak.
So Derek Carr.
Dak.
Bryce Young.
Probably Bryce Young.
Kirk Cousins.
Dak.
Will Levis.
Dak.
Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence.
AR.
AR. But that bias there.
CJ Stroud.
Stroud.
Sam Darnold.
Dak.
Jordan Love.
Love.
For Darnold, did you say Darnold or Dak?
I said Dak.
Jared Goff.
Give me Dak.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
How about Russell Wilson?
Dak.
Deshaun Watson.
Dak.
Joey B.
Burrow.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
How about Jaden Daniels?
I guess Dak.
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts.
Daniel Jones.
Dak.
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers.
How about Jacoby Brissett?
Dak.
Tua. Josh Allen.
Allen.
See, here's the difference between us. You ready?
Yeah.
When it comes to Dak, you would take 16. You would take half the league over Dak.
Right, that's what I just said.
I would take 6 guys over Dak. Dak to me is at least the 7th best option in the NFL.
Are you going off of pure talent, or are you going off of contract and money?
Combination, like Caleb Williams was one of them that I said yes, I would. That's a combination of like pure talent and contract. CJ Stroud, yes, he's a lot younger. He has talent plus the like those two. Yes, I took them into consideration, but like AR, Trevor Lawrence, no, I'll take Dak. They're about the same level. I'll take Dak. Dak is probably a little better than those two right now. Like, and Trevor Lawrence is the main one that I'm glad you said. Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen. Because I'm sorry, in the playoffs, and I know people are going to say, oh, but Ricky, Josh Allen, he ran into Patrick Mahomes. Oh, he can't win a coin toss. Oh, it's not his fault. Still can't win in the playoffs. Still hasn't been to a Super Bowl.
With that.
Trevor Lawrence, you had how big of a lead did you have in your team? And people are going to say, oh, that wasn't his fault. That was Doug Peterson's fault. When does it become, hey, for this guy, we moved the goalpost. For this guy, because we don't like him, it's all on him. And that's it. People just don't like Dak Prescott. Let's just be honest. People don't like Dak Prescott.
But I'll tell you this: I'm not one of them. I actually don't hate the Cowboys.
I'm not saying you're one of them. I need to say that. I'm not projecting on you.
I know, but I'm like, that's why I'm gonna make it clear for the people watching. My fiance, a lot of her family,
the millions and millions.
a lot of her family are Cowboy fans, and I don't.
How about them Cowboys?
Are they my favorite team? No, obviously. But no, my issue is just solely with Dak because, I mean, again, like you said with those other guys, yes,
Mm-hmm.
he has those struggles when it comes to the playoffs and in big games. Now, but again, that's not just a quarterback problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yes, with someone like Trevor Lawrence, sure, he was part of the choke job of not making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But my reasoning for picking him over Dak is the age. You know what you're going to get from Dak now, moving forward, and after injuries. With
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence, he's still young enough to where he can surpass what Dak has done, and he can surprise you more. That was
Mm-hmm.
some of my thinking with some of the rookies. Now with Jaden Daniels, yes, I really liked him coming out of college, but I think that would be the situation of like I
I am high on Jaden. I do think Jaden's going to
yeah,
be good,
I
especially with
yeah,
with Eckler and Scary Terry, but not this year.
yeah, and then with like Bo Nix, again, it's just that was mostly just like
Mm-hmm.
I don't love Bo Nix, but I feel like
Ugh.
objectively he has a higher upside than
He'll be out of the
what
league in
Dak's
2 years.
I don't know. I don't think so, man.
He
He's
he's gonna be like who am I thinking of? The MILF Destroyer. Who am I
Zach
thinking of?
Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Thank you. I was like, why am I blanking on his name? Like he's gonna be like him. He's gonna be like him and JJ McCarthy are gonna be like Zach Wilson. They'll be out of the years, and Bo Nix might be hung on to a little longer because Sean Payton is stubborn, and it'll basically be until Sean Payton is fired in Denver. If he's fired in Denver, because let's be honest, John Elway also does not like to admit when he's wrong, and will hang on to guys longer than he should. But yeah, I just think that people, when it comes to Dak, are way too hard on Dak, and they make excuses for other guys that they would never make with Dak. And you have a point. A part of that is he plays for the Cowboys. Like what's gonna happen is I you not. This is gonna happen, JD. He's gonna move. The Cowboys aren't gonna pay him, right?
Yeah.
The Cowboys aren't gonna pay him like idiots. He's gonna go somewhere else, and then everyone's gonna love Dak Prescott. Oh
Yeah.
man, like look at how great Dak. He's a really good
Exactly.
quarterback, and it's gonna
Exactly.
infuriate me because it's like this is the same play that he gave you at the Cowboys. You just didn't like him because he had a star on his helmet.
Exactly. No, you
Dak
nailed
Prescott is a good quarterback. The Cowboys
Yeah.
haven't done what they needed to help him. Now,
Because
also, I will say that one game in Green Bay, that was a catch by Dez Bryant. The league didn't want to call it a catch because the refs hate the Cowboys.
yeah.
That year, they wanted the Packers to move on, not the Cowboys, because, rigging does happen in sports. I do
Well,
believe it.
and that's
Look
and
at
that's
Taylor
the
Swift
thing.
last year. I mean,
Well,
tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Tell me I'm wrong. I made money
But
off it. I bet on them Chiefs.
I'll
I know it's
but
going to be
I'll-
rigged one way. I'm going to bet that way and make that money. Mama, I'm about to make a name for myself.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, and because you're like, it's solely because he's on the Cowboys and a
Yeah.
little bit because of his skill, because
Mm-hmm.
he he seems like a likable person. He seems like somebody you want to root for, even when he was in college with Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm. I
And
loved him at Mississippi State.
yeah, I mean his story was cool. And but yeah, it's just him being on the Cowboys. Cowboys are probably the most hated team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he has a lot of detractors. But again, some people like myself, it's just purely based off of skill and thinking he's just a little overrated by some.
Now, we've gone away from the conversation a bit. It's still the Cowboys, but we went on a Dak Prescott type of an aside here. Let's get back to the main meat and potatoes here. Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons could be traded. Now, the whole thing that I mentioned with Caleb Williams, there was a thing, he liked an Instagram post about Williams being traded. Bears fans jumped all over it. Oh, look at Caleb wants Micah Parsons here. Caleb Williams unliked it. It's no longer on his Twitter page. But you know how once it's out there, fans are going to eat it up. Bears fans are all like, oh, yeah, let's trade for Micah Parsons. But Then there were rumors that were like, oh, the Cowboys aren't going to make that deal unless they for sure get the Bears' first round pick this year. I have picked the brain of our own Tim Shaw here at MVP. I asked him, would he make that deal if the 2025 first round pick from Da Bears was in the deal? He said, absolutely not. He would not make that deal. I respect it. I would keep the draft pick over Micah. I could see keeping a draft pick over Micah Parsons, but I think
and take who though?
But I think it comes from not wanting to get ripped off. I think it's like, okay, what else is in that deal? What else are we giving up that maybe he was thinking about as well?
Okay.
But the point is, if he does get traded this year, next year, well, this year or next offseason, JD, who makes a trade for Micah Parsons? Who's the team that says we need him on our team?
A team that's not afraid to make a win now move. If in the I would have said the Bears of the past.
I think the Bears. If the Bears do it, they'll do it next offseason when he's expiring, and it could fit the timeline. They could play really well this year and say, okay, the timeline's accelerated. We need to go get a guy like Micah Parsons. So I think the Bears are in play in the offseason.
I think if I were to be the odds makers here, I would say the favorite would probably be Baltimore. They've shown that they're not afraid to make
in-season trade.
Yeah.
Or off-season trade.
Either.
Okay.
I would say in season because they've been a team that has consistently swung big for a playoff run. Like it wasn't last year, it was the year before, I believe, when they traded for Raekwon Smith.
Yep.
Right?
Again, Roquan with the Bears.
Yeah, that was an expensive
For a second,
deal.
I was like, he's not talking about Raekwon McMillan, is he?
No.
Roquan for the Bears.
Yeah, and then again, but in the past they've traded for Justin Peters. Is that the cornerback?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Justin or Marcus? Could be Marcus
Peters. Marcus Peters. Yeah, and other guys, like, I mean, they signed Odell. Like they love going after the big names, and I just think Micah Parsons would definitely help that team on defense. And kind of, not that their defense has fallen off. I mean, we'll see this year because they've lost some pieces.
Yeah, but the guys you're gonna have to go, like the NFL and the NBA are mirroring themselves so well right now, in my opinion. Where I look at the AFC and the NFL like the Western Conference and the NBA, to where the AFC is just loaded. The Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals. I'll even still throw the Bills in there, even though their wide receiver core got decimated this offseason. The Colts, the Texans, the Jaguars. Like, there are the Dolphins, the Jets. Like, there's a ton of quality teams in the AFC. Ton of quality. Just like the Western Conference in the NBA, it's the tougher conference to be in. So I could see the Ravens saying, hey, we need to boost our defense because Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, AR, Trevor. Like, there's a lot of top half guys in the NFL and the AFC when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. Forgot to say him. Like, there's a bunch of the top 16 quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Yeah. Well, exactly, right? And I mean, and I think I mean, another team that could do it if you want an NFC team, and probably Detroit, because again they're always going to be looking now to improve their edge rushing.
You are reading my mind right now. Micah Parsons listed as the right side defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'll look at your team first. So Baltimore, they run a little bit of a different defensive system. But I could totally see Micah Parsons being an upgrade over Daffy Owe.
Yeah, I would
tell me he's not an upgrade over Daffy Owe.
Well, Daffy Owe, I mean, he's good, but I think he'd probably.
He's not Micah Parsons good, is what I'm saying. Like, that's not a knock on him. He's just not Micah Parsons.
No, exactly. But either I think he would probably be involved in that deal going to Dallas.
Here's the only problem with I don't know if this is a problem. If the Lions got that deal done, question for you. I mean, you look at their team. Their edge rushers are already Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. Do they then just have Hutch play outside linebacker, or have Parsons play outside
They'd
linebacker,
probably
or
have Parsons play outside
so
linebacker.
basically it'd be like, oh, on one side we have Davenport and then Parsons, and on the other side we just have Hutch.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the team I would think that would just be the rich getting richer.
Yeah.
Like, but they're a team that's like, hey, let's do it. Let's boast that defense. And hey, if they maybe want to make a trade and like we'll send Davenport over there because Parsons is a huge upgrade. The Bears, I could totally see doing it because they've got Montez Sweat on one side. The other side right now is DeMarcus Walker, who was a free agent from Tennessee. There's a wide open hole, not hole, but upgradable position there at the right side. The other team I'd thrown out there, and yet again, maybe this is just a rich getting richer kind of a thing. I know that they picked up Leonard Floyd this offseason, but the Niners could say, hey, we need to bolster this defense to make things better. Now, cap room is going to be a thing. Niners, Ravens, Lions, these are the teams that the cap room might not be super friendly to, so they may have to like include a player or two
Yeah.
to weigh it out. But like, is it for sure in your mind that hey, if a team is trading for him, they are a top end playoff team that needs a little bit of help, or could it be
Yeah.
a bottom end playoff team that's like, hey, we need this to be able to compete with those higher playoff teams? Could it be like a Houston Texans who will probably be playing in wild card weekend 1?
I mean, yeah, it could be the Texans, but I I don't see it being like because I still think you can make the argument that the Texans could make it to the conference
Yep.
championship.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So I mean, I would still classify them in that mid to upper playoff tier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't see it being like hypothetically, let's just say the Jaguars are maybe like they're in the hunt. I don't see it being a team that's in the hunt. I see it being a top playoff team, but again, not just any top playoff team. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think the ones that we've said are probably I don't want to say the only options
Mm-hmm.
because you never know, but I would say those are the most likely.
From a team from a team perspective,
Hmm.
if you're trying to get Micah Parsons, get him on the team now. The only reason I say that is for this year, he's only a $5 million cap hit.
Yeah.
So that means every team in the league, except for basically pretty much every team in the league, except for maybe the Rams. Okay. So the Ravens are at 4.8. They would have to move something to free
Yeah,
up
which
that
I don't think
that
that'd be
cap
a
space. It wouldn't be a
big deal.
problem, but they would have to like every other team that we mentioned, like the Texans 8.9, they could do it easily. You have the Lions 31.7 available in cap space. Um, the 49ers 45.5 right now. Cap space is what it says here on Spot Rack. What was another team we mentioned? Bengals have 10 million in cap space. The Bears have 8.5. So like
You said the Niners.
the Niners, I did say they were at 45.5
Yeah.
million in cap space. But I will say it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Micah Parsons. I'd be shocked if he was traded, but at the
Yeah.
same time, kind of put a button on this before we go into a segment I wanted to do to end the podcast, JD. The Cowboys have to do something because the Cowboys do not have enough cap space to just sign Dak outright now. Quarterback, it all comes down to quarterback money. So it's like if they're not
Yeah.
going to move on from Micah, What are they going to do? And yet again, this is where it comes down below. I'm going to put this question out to the universe. If you were Jerry Jones, take all of his craziness out the door. You are now in his position. And JD, I'll let you answer it and me answer it, but I want to throw it out to them. You're in Jerry Jones's position. Do you give Dak a new contract, trade Micah Parsons, or do you keep Micah Parsons, let Dak walk, and find a different option at quarterback?
Yeah, I do that. I extend Parsons, let Dak walk, and find a cheaper option either through the draft or free agency.
I don't know what I would do. There's a part of me that got like, because here I'd be sitting in that chair going, how do we keep both? Is there an option of how we keep both? If I had to choose between the two,
have they already extended or have they given Diggs a new contract?
Yep. Diggs has got he got the new contract first.
Has it kicked in?
It kicks in next year.
I would get rid of him.
It kicks in this offseason.
I mean, realistically, I think Diggs, again, you want to talk about somebody I don't like.
So you would
overrated?
trade Trayvon Diggs and keep Micah Parsons. That's an option.
Yeah, absolutely. I would do that because I think Diggs is an overrated bum.
Okay.
If I'm being quite honest. That's actually somebody I don't like.
DaRon Bland, I think, is injured to start the year, too.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
corner.
Sorry for the people that are cornerback defenders, but cornerback is a replaceable position.
Yeah, especially with all the hot corners that are coming out now, JD. We got another one. There's one in Denver, baby. Another hot corner.
Man, college football 25 is cooking with all the white corners. Yeah.
All the Cooper DeJeans out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I would probably have to let Dak walk because, like, see, the hardest thing about this conversation is, what do I say, JD? What are the two most important positions in football?
Quarterback and
that's what these two are. It's like, I do not envy Jerry Jones. I do not envy the Cowboys. Last thing we'll do here on the podcast is a short little segment that I'm going to call Deal or No Deal, JD. And it's basically, we've got contracts going around. CeeDee Lamb just got paid. We've got other guys who are either in holdouts, who are looking for contracts. I am going to throw the name out to you, and basically, you can go on and do a little explanation if you want, but basically, does a deal get done this year? Does a deal get done, or no deal gets done, and he will not be on the team? So basically, deal, he stays with his team. No deal, he'll be somewhere else. First one, we've already talked about Dak Prescott. Deal or no deal?
No deal.
I'm in the same boat, no deal. I think that they're going to value Micah Parsons. They're not going to value, and they're not going to want to overpay in some people's minds Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott not getting a deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Come to Minnesota. Come to Minnesota, Dak. I will take you. I will take you. We can skull all night long. All night. All night long. Skulling all night. We can skull all night long, Dak. Come to Minnesota because Darnold will be done at the end of the year. JD, this is one that's probably near and dear to your heart. Ja'Marr Chase, deal or no deal?
Deal. The time that we are recording this, it is Wednesday, September 4th, and he showed up at practice
7:38 Central Time.
Yeah, he showed up to practice today. He participated, which is a sign that a deal could be getting close. And if you know anything about the Bengals and contract extensions, usually it's about the game week is the week that they like to get their extensions done. Happened on Thursday Night Football last year to kick the season off with Joe Burrow. And I think, I'm calling it now, tomorrow, Ja'Marr Chase will be signing an extension.
You know what? I was about to say no deal coming into this, but you shared your inside information with me. I'm going to say deal with you. The one thing I am going to say, though, that I love about this whole Ja'Marr Chase situation I love how the Zach attack basically was asked point blank. Is Jamar gonna practice tomorrow? Oh yeah, no, he's gonna practice. He's gonna be suited up. He's gonna be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be ready to go. He'll be fine. I'm the Zach attack. I know what I'm talking about. The day after, Jamar Chase, nah, homie, I don't play that. And he showed up in street clothes.
Yeah.
Nah, homie, I ain't playing unless I get that money.
Andy showed up late.
Showed up late in street clothes. I was like, you know what? Usually I don't applaud this, but that's a power move right there.
Yeah.
That is a power move of like, you don't know me. Yeah, you don't know me. Third guy on our list, JD. This is a guy that I'm worried about this year because I have him in both my fantasy leagues. Alvin Kamara, does he get a contract done? Now, his is interesting. His contract year is next year, kind of the same deal as Jamar Chase. Does he get a deal done or no deal with the Saints?
No, I'm saying no deal. I'm gonna go based off of what our dear friend Jake has said, resident Saints fan. And I feel like that relationship is running its course. He's been a Saint now for
His
6
entire
years.
career.
Yeah, 6-7 years. And unfortunately, guy can't stay healthy, off the field issues. And he's not the player he used to be. He's not good enough to be demanding all of these, like all the stuff that he's demanding with the Saints organization.
I would have said deal if this was like yesterday, because like I know Jake said, oh, rumor is he's put his house up for sale in Narlands. However, today, as we were recording this, there was an article that came out that basically said Kamara basically said there's a fat chance that a contract gets done. Basically, the way I'm interpreting from his own mouth is that he is done with the Saints. Wouldn't be surprised, actually, if there was a trade that happened after the season with Alvin Kamara. I'm going to say no deal with Alvin Kamara, sadly. I still hope he plays well because he's on both of my fantasy teams. So come on, Alvin, stay healthy. Let's do some. Let's continue to play. Get our head in the game. The last one's not a contract, JD. It's more of a will he, won't he get traded. Hassan Riddick with the Jets is holding out, requesting a trade. Does that relationship get mended and he doesn't get traded, stays with the Jets, or is he on a new team?
Ooh. I mean, he just got there, like, this offseason. So, I mean, I'm gonna say he's gone.
Okay.
I mean, and my reasoning for that is, again, we've never really seen something like this happen, or at least it's not very common. So he hasn't even had time to build a good relationship. So from the moment he got there, it's been bad. So I'm just willing to say at some point, I think he doesn't play a game for them. Maybe in week 3, they ship him out the door to somebody else, and there you go.
I'm gonna be bold here. He ain't moving. He ain't going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. And the reason why I'm going to say that is, one, winning solves all problems. This Jets team is going to be good. They're going to be winning. And I'm sorry, after a while, he's going to want to get out there and play some games. I think the front office is going to be steadfast, not going to move. Eventually, he'll crack, play some games. Now, will he get a new contract? No deal there. But he will definitely play this year. Winning solves all problems. This Jet team is going to WIN this year. JETS, Jets. They're going to win with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to stay healthy. Riddick will be out there. But after the year, it'll probably be like, okay, hey, shake your hand. It was a nice time here for the time it was. But good luck in your business ventures. We're going to keep our team rolling right here. So probably not a deal after the year, but he'll play this year. This team's going to win. They'll be pretty dang good, if you ask me. Whew. Any final thoughts, JD? This is a banger episode 1.
Yeah, it was great.
Banger after banger after banger.
Yeah, I'm excited for football. I mean, college football this weekend kind of crushed me, but hey, beautiful thing about liking both NFL and college football, when one team lets you down, another team could raise your hopes. So that's what we're going with here.
You know what I said to you guys should win this week, Sanford. shouldn't be a problem for you.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're starting our 5-star freshman, so I would hope.
Ooh, I got some good news for you on the Florida front.
What?
This is from 2 hours ago, so it's fresh. You ready for this?
Yeah.
DJ Legway to start for Florida against Sanford. Mertz is out.
Yeah. Mertz has a concussion.
I mean, let's be honest. Mertz sucks. He
last year,
dude.
No, dude. Last year he actually wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally when we brought him in, didn't like him, wasn't good.
Yep.
But then he kind of proved me wrong, and then freaking that was a pumpkin because when he played, he
little
sucked.
Cinderella reference there. It's a pumpkin.
He sucked on Saturday.
I love that.
And I'll say
reference.
this. Yeah, I'll say this quickly. Hope he gets better, and don't wish a concussion on the guy. But this is DJ Legway's team. He's gonna take us to the promised land. So let's ride.
So, JD, I got a question for you, and we're gonna decide this live on the air. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
So next week will be our first mock draft for the Onside Kick. It comes in a little bit. I went on vacation, which kind of threw a wrench into things. That week should have been the preseason mock draft. Actually, I will ask you, and I will ask this to the listeners. You guys, it's not just a me and JD decision. I'm going to backtrack. We're going to go back in time a little bit. I have a feeling of what you both are going to say, but I want to know what you guys are going to say. We either do a mock draft next week on the podcast, and that'll count as like our preseason mock draft, and then the next one would be after week 9, or do we just hold off until week 9?
No,
that's holding off until November.
Yeah, I would say let's do one next week.
All right, so here's the deal. Next week for the Onside Kick will be our first mock draft. You're not going to want to miss it. The draft room. We record our first episode on Friday, or not on Friday, tomorrow, because I have a work conflict on Friday. Usually they'll be on Fridays. Tomorrow, JD, here's the question. Do we want to record our big board for the draft room, or do we want to punt that to next week and have draft big board in 1 week, or split them up and have the big board this week?
I would say draft big board 1 week.
All right. So JD and I will be live tomorrow, live on for the patrons, you guys. So you're getting draft room. We're recording it on Thursday night. You'll get that on Friday. And then next week we'll be back to our Fridays. Big board mock draft next week. Do not miss both of them. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Go ahead, click all of our links in the description. Support us on Patreon. Join the Discord. Join the Confidence Pick'em League as well. Believe I said at the beginning of the podcast that it was going to be in the description, so I guess I'll put it in the description because there's a thought in my head that, like, man, I should really just leave that link in the... You know what? I'll have a disclaimer. If there's a disclaimer in there, the link will be in the Discord. You're going to have to go into the Discord to get the link. I think that's how I'm going to do it.
And you'll want to join it.
I will write a description. You want a $100 gift card if you win.
Yeah, but even the Discord, man, we talk about football all the time. We talk about basketball, wrestling, pretty much everything.
Wrestling. What's your biggest ick? People talking wrestling.
Wrestling. Ran.
And then The Rock, shut up. I love, that is my favorite. I am a wrestling fan. Dude. I love that meme with all of my heart.
Oh, dude, it's great.
But that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for watching, for listening. Chiefs and Ravens starting in a couple hours from when you guys are watching this on YouTube, Rumble, listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, however you guys catch our podcast. JD, thank you for another great episode, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Wanted to give you a little chance to say something there, but that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys for everything you do, and as always, have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.